World Data Forum has concluded in Cape Town with a commitment from stakeholders to adopt similar norms and standards to deal with global challenges such as fighting poverty and hunger. Delegates say accurate information and statistics are needed to help policymakers to make informed decisions to fight these challenges. Over 1,000 experts in the collection of statistics and data from around the world attended the meeting. Now, joining us now is Siyabonga Afrika, and he's from the digital department right here at the SABC. Thank you very much for joining us, Sia. Now, what were some of the main conversations coming out of the forum?
Hi, thank you for having me. Today was the final day of the the inaugural United Nations World Data Forum. And it basically, the main key points to come out, in fact, the main goal was the adoption of the Cape Town Global Action Plan, which basically is a plan for sustainable development data, and it will be adopted by countries at the UN Statistical Commission when it meets later on this year, at about March. Some of the main things that they were looking to tackle included innovation and modernization of national statistical systems, the dissemination of data on sustainable development, and looking at building partnerships and mobilizing resources. So this was a platform that basically brought together a whole lot of people in the data community to come and look at how we could use data for sustainable development. And in that arena, they did succeed.
Now, sir, you've mentioned the key outcomes of this forum, but what are some of the challenges highlighted during the conference on the global use of data for development specifically?
Some of the challenges is definitely capacity. I think that was definitely a word that crept up throughout the last couple of days, was capacity, especially among the poorer nations. So essentially what we're looking at here is the ability for poorer nations to be able to actually collect data. One of the statistics that was pulled out was that about in a lot of countries, the number of births of children below the age of 5, about 40% of children in the world are not counted. So that is basically one of the challenges there, is actually upgrade the capacity of a lot of poorer nations to be able to actually undergo statistical exercises like counting their births.
Now, the Statistician General spoke about this forum earlier in the week, saying that it's really quite a big deal for South Africa to be hosting it. What are some of the benefits that this type of conference could have for the country's data landscape overall?
In terms of benefits, it really put us on the map as definitely a country which is on the front lines when it comes to using data and sustainable development. SABC and the South African government really shone, and we were also basically at the center of attention for all the efforts that our government has done in terms of opening up its data to the people, and also some of the best practices that SABC has implemented in the last couple of years with the community survey, amongst other things. So it really put us on the forefront in the African continent. It also allowed South Africans who are in the data space, because it was free for everyone to attend. So if you're locally based, it was definitely affordable for you to come through and actually connect with people from across the pond. Some of the people were not necessarily statisticians working in national stats offices. Some of them were entrepreneurs. Some of them were researchers. And for them to be able to connect with other researchers, other people within the stats community who they would otherwise not have been able to meet in person, this was definitely a great platform for them to actually go out there and meet them. And really also as an event that is an official UN event, it really did wonders for the country, for our goodwill in the world, for them to see how hospitable we can be, that we can organize such an event, which is the first of its kind. The next one's going to be in Dubai in 2018, 2019. So, we really set the standard, which was a really high one.
Speaking of it being an official UN event, would you say this forum contributed meaningfully to the UN's 2030 agenda for sustainable development?
Yes. Well, when it comes to Agenda 2030, what was really the main, the crux of the matter was that we need to be able to measure in order to see whether development is happening or not. And so having this event basically put at the forefront the need and really allow people to discuss how we can actually measure development as we head towards the 2030 goals and the SDGs. So this really was a great platform to actually bring together all those minds who are involved in measuring sustainable development across the world in order to establish norms and best practices. And in that regard, it was a really beneficial event to have. There are not that many set protocols that have come out of this event. For the most part, it's a living document, the Global Action Plan, as the UN Statistical Division Director Stephen Schweinfurt said. So really this document is a guiding document for a lot of countries around the world, for them to be able to see, okay, how is it done? How do we then align our national statistical plans along with this global action plan in order to be able to measure if we're doing good for our own citizens.
Siya, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for that update. That was SABC Digital's Siyabonga Afrika speaking to us about the UN World Data Forum.